But this is a tragedy in which we, the United States of America, are complicit. Much of what is happening, much of the bombardment and the other actions that we are seeing now is happening right now with U.S. arms and equipment. In other words, whether we like it or not, the United States is complicit in the nightmare that millions of Palestinians are now experiencing. Mr. President, the Wall Street Journal reported on December 1st that the U.S. had provided at least 15,000 bombs and 57,000 artillery shells to Israel, including more than 5,400 huge 2,000-pound bombs that can flatten entire neighborhoods. The Washington Post reported that in just 6 weeks after October 7th, Israel dropped more than 22,000 American-supplied bombs on Gaza. 22,000 American-supplied bombs. CNN reported that nearly half of these bombs were unguided, so-called dumb bombs. So, Mr. President, that is where we find ourselves at this moment. 24,000 Palestinians in Gaza are dead, 70% are women and children, and 60,000 have been wounded. 70% of the housing stock has been damaged or destroyed, and almost 2 million people are trying to survive with inadequate supplies of food, water, medicine, or fuel. And the humanitarian situation is getting worse by the minute. Hundreds of thousands of beautiful children are facing starvation. Mr. President, given the scale of the destruction and the extensive use of American arms, military equipment in this campaign, Congress must act. And that is why we must pass this 502B resolution. We must ensure that U.S. aid is being used in accordance with international human rights and our own laws. Mr. President, a vote for this resolution is simply to request more information on a tragic situation that the American people care about. Go back home, I say to my colleagues. Red state, blue state, purple state, this issue, this suffering is on the minds of the American people. And that's all that this resolution does. Now, a vote against this resolution, which I have a hard time really understanding, it says, quote, I don't want more information. I'm going to vote against this resolution. I don't want a report from the State Department. I don't want to know how U.S. military aid in Israel is being used. I don't want to know what responsibility the United States may have for this humanitarian disaster. I want to keep my head in the sand. I don't want to see what's going on. And frankly, Mr. President, no matter what your view on this terrible war may be, agree with me, you don't agree with me, we cannot bury our eyes in the sand.